What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the David Lopez Show, presented by Passion Park Entertainment. You already know. Welcome to the first episode of 2019. It's a very special episode. It's a very awesome episode. I hope you all enjoyed your New Year's. I would like to wish you a happy New Year's on behalf of Passion Park Entertainment and myself. What an episode we got in store for you. I got some fun stuff. I got a great interview. In fact, I have two interviews. Well, one real one that is about an hour long, and it's with an amazing artist, Chicago MC and actor, and you'll learn a lot more about him. He does a lot of stuff, but his name is the Kid Fraze. You may have heard his name before if you listen to this podcast, because you know I've done some shows with him. So we did a couple shows in Iowa City together, and yeah, we've just done some work together, and so now we got to talk for at length in an extended form on this show. So that was really fun. He came through last week, just before the New Year's, actually, and I had a fun chat with him. So you guys are gonna get to hear that in a little bit. Here, I'm gonna brief you. I'm gonna bring you in. But I do want to do some of my normal, like weekly, we do like the Chicago sports update and just like me talk some normal bullshit about just what's going on. And I am going to get to that. But before I do, I got a quick special, a special thingy thing that we don't really do here very often on the show. Well, we used to do it more early on, some more skits and stuff like that. Well, I'll be including more of those now as we progress. But I mentioned I have two interviews for today. Well, the first interview is kind of a joke, but it's kind of real. So you should enjoy it. Enjoy a word from me with some of the Passion Park homies and collective that help out with the crew a lot. And just us messing around as we were enjoying a fun New Year's Day pajama party that we had here at my place. So I was really had a great time spending time with, some A1 day ones. That's how we do. But anyways, enjoy a brief goof around session between me and my friends. And Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's! Woo! Woo!
Turn up.
Party. What's up, everybody? Thank you to my producer, Pookie, as somebody would call him. Holla. Welcome to the first episode of 2019. I have a very special guest. I don't know what his name is. He's got some. Yeah, he's got some. Some call him at Get You Some. What would be some of your resolutions for the year of 2019?
Get my hair cut?
No. Sir, at your age, some would be worried about cutting your hair. What if it doesn't grow back? Are you worried about that?
The Lord does what He wants to do.
How do you feel about people heading to the gym in 2019?
I work out all day, every day, but then I look at my head and I say, oh shit, that shit in there.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what any of that meant. Now, if you were to be able to be one of the Avenger characters, now my man, how much have you had to drink? Are you okay?
A little bit.
Are you handling this? Okay. If you could be one of the Marvel Avengers,
yeah,
who would you be?
The Hulk.
The Hulk? Why?
Then he's stronger.
That's it? That's all you got?
Strong muscles. That's what I want to be. Yeah.
I think I would be Spider-Man.
All those webs and stuff, you don't want to... Shit. Like, bitch, I'm a bug on. Trying to clean up with the girl, she stuck like this.
It's gotta be hard.
What state do you want to go take a shit in next year?
Oh, that's a pretty solid question here. If you could take a shit in one state, what state would you take a shit in?
What?
If you could be one character from any show, who would you be?
Arthur.
What?
Every day when you're walking down the street, hey, what a wonderful kind of day.
Come on.
You can learn to work and play.
Before the end of this interview, I would like to ask you for any final wishes you have upon the good people of the fans of the David Lopez Show. What wishes do you have for them for the year of 2019?
That y'all would actually like and subscribe.
I am in near of tears with the support that I have received from this first time I have ever met this gentleman. So I want to say thank you to the old Jordan hat wearing fisherman from the street that I have met today. And Happy New Year's, bitches!
And all you motherfuckers that want to talk shit, leave me alone.
All right, cut. All right. I hope you enjoyed a brief word from the homies and myself. That was a fun endeavor we got into the other day. As I briefly mentioned, it was a pajama party. We did our first annual. You can't really say first annual when it's the first one, but anyways, I'm saying that because we plan to do it again. But we just did like a little get together at our place and just had food and games and obviously herb and obviously booze. And you could tell because my eyes are like not open in that video, and I was extremely not sober, but having a great time. And I really enjoyed spending some time with some good friends that I have known for a very long time. So I hope you all enjoyed the holidays and New Year's and you know, I hope you got to spend some time with people you care about, and I hope you didn't get too annoyed by them, because that can happen. Believe me, I know. Spend a lot of time with your family in the holidays, and you'll be like, I love them, I fucking hate them. I'm kidding. I'm definitely exaggerating because I don't really have bad family issues at all. So I just am exaggerating to a certain extent. I mean, obviously you can get annoyed with people, but I am blessed in that I get along very well with a lot of my family members. So that is a positive for the holiday time. All right. Anyways, I have an awesome interview coming up, which I know I mentioned, but before we get to that, I really just want to briefly talk about where we're at sports-wise. There's really only one thing I got to talk about here, and I just feel the need to do it because I do a sports update weekly, and I'd be remiss without bringing this up. This Sunday, we have a fellow team in this great here Windy City. The Bears. They have a big old playoff game this weekend. Let me tell you something. And we're playing the Eagles Sunday at 3:40, so primetime game. I am pumped. Very excited. So I just wanted to briefly mention, Bears playoffs. Bears playoff times. I mean, it's super exciting in the city. Everybody is geared up for Sunday. I wanted the Vikings, if I'm being honest. I wanted to play the Vikings because I just thought we were so much better than them. But then I did understand the idea of you don't want to let them beat you, and then they know how to, and then they've beaten you, and then you play them again the next week. So that was a conflict of interest in week 16. But to be honest, I really thoroughly enjoyed, or week 17, I'm sorry. I really thoroughly enjoyed beating them in week 17. And just beating them when they were definitely trying their hardest because it mattered so much for them. Obviously, they had to win to get into the playoffs. But to beat them when it mattered so much to them and when it only kind of mattered for us, oh, that felt good, man. That was good. That was good. It also is funny how I talk like I am on the team. But, when you are a fan of the one and only Bears, this is how you speak. So screw the Vikings. There was an odd chance that we could have played the Seahawks, but some things happened and we didn't. So we got the Eagles. We got last year's Super Bowl winner. A little scary because Nick Foles is, on a tear. But I'm confident. I think our team is... I think we're the more talented team. They're the more playoff experienced, obviously. But if we come to play, if our defense is as dominant as they've been, we should be good, man. We should be fucking good. So I'm very excited. Very excited. Very excited. So I don't want to harp on it too much because, we got a longer episode, and I don't want to keep you guys around. But I just want to say I will be in a very inebriated state by about fourth quarter of the Bears playoff game on Sunday. I don't know. Depending on how they are doing, we'll see if I am drinking heavily or not. Also on a football topic, I haven't talked about this in a couple weeks, but I feel the need to bring it up. the Pigskin Pick'em League, my Pigskin Pick'em League that I've been in all year, and that if you guys know, if you've been listening, you know that I have been very much so struggling. I have not been doing well this year. I actually like. It's not like I ever had like any terrible weeks, but like my weeks were always like I don't know, like 50% right, like not, like a little more than that, like decent, but I just hadn't won a week. I hadn't had a good week, and guess what? Last week of the season. I make my picks. I'm like, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. I can't go winless. This is terrible. Make my picks. As you know, there was no Thursday game. Well, I don't know about as you know, but I will say there was no Thursday game. There was no Monday night game. So all the games were Sunday. I'm like, games are going on. I'm like, there's only a couple I've gotten wrong. This is good. I got 12 of the games right. 12. That's my best all year by far. I should have totally won, right? 4 people in week 16 got 12 games right. That didn't happen all year. I have to go check out the statistics, but I can almost guarantee you that did not happen all year. And I'm pretty sure I got the tiebreaker wrong. It had to do with score differential in the Sunday night game, and I don't think I got it right. So I'm pretty sure I lost again. So I think I may have gone winless. You guys can all shame me. You can talk shit to me. Leave some comments. Say that I'm the worst pigskin pick'em player ever. You're only going to break my heart. But I can handle a broken heart. As long as you're listening and subscribing. God, what a terrible year. It's all right. I'm going to come back next year. I'm going to win like 8 weeks in a row. Watch. You watch. All right. Well, that's enough of that. To recap the Chicago sports update, the Bulls still suck. Let's hope that they get the worst record, and let's hope we can get the number 1 pick. If not, top 3 would be ideal. So go Bulls, and by go Bulls, I mean keep fucking losing. That's all I got for our Chicago sports update today. And otherwise, I'm not gonna keep you too long. Late Nights is my new single. You should go check it out. You're going to hear a brief ad in the middle of this interview with the Kid Fraze, where I briefly talk about how amazing this single is. Actually, I don't really get into that, but you should know that you should listen to it. But there is a quick ad halfway through the interview with the Kid Fraze. We come right back. It's like a minute-long ad, so don't get deterred. Don't leave if you don't like the ad. Just skip ahead. Press the 15-second thing. Like, you can skip ahead 15 seconds. Just press it like a couple times if you don't like the ad. Jeez, come on, don't be an asshole. Just keep watching. You're going to miss out some good points. There's some great points in the second half of the episode. Great points in the first half of the interview. He is a great artist. I'm a big fan, and also just want to be a friend and stay in tune with him because I think he's got some really good vibes and some good energy and a very motivated artist. And it's good to keep those kind of people, around you in your life. If you have the similar goals and stuff like that. And so I encourage you all to check out his work. I encourage you all to listen to this interview. I encourage you all to smoke some weed. I also encourage you all to hang out. Speaking of the smoking weed part, second half, towards the end, I think you can start to tell that the herb is starting to kick in for your boy. Anyways, I hope you enjoy this interview. Thank you so much for a phenomenal 2018, and we're going to keep it going in 2019. Enjoy the Kid Fraze, and I'll catch you on the other side. All right. Hey, what's up, guys? This is the Kid Fraze, the homie, the Kid Fraze.
My man.
Yeah.
This is the David Lopez.
Hey.
Hall of Famer.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's funny. So, yeah, we haven't, we don't usually do the long intros. We kind of just hang out. But anyways, let's say this. Let's get this right out of the way. Is I fucking know you. Like, we've been hanging out. We've done shows. But I don't feel like I really know you.
We're going to take it to the next level.
This is us. The bromance begins now.
Yeah. The bromance is there. It's turning into, we're going to drop the beat.
Right.
It's going to get a little weird.
So you, because you saw I had some basketball stuff from my basketball career. You didn't really know that was a thing, I guess.
Did not, no.
But I know you played lacrosse your whole life, right?
I did. I grew up with as a lot of kids did, and I feel like in our era, we did we played everything. Mm-hmm. We'd go to the park and play baseball. We'd recruit kids on our street. It was Sunnyside versus Cloverdale. So we were always playing sports, but my the first sport I ever I got into was judo, and I grew up with a martial arts background. Oh shit, really? So yeah, I started. My dad threw us on the mat. The second we could stand on our feet, we were fighting at 3 years old. So Shout out Cohen's Judo Club. But
Is he big into like judo and
my
karate?
dad was a martial artist as well. He was
Really?
karate, and he got my brother and I. My brother was a little timid as a kid, and I was just kind of nuts. So it was really for his confidence and really to calm me down. Older brother, yeah.
Okay. How many years old?
He's 31, so he's 2.5 years older.
Yeah, okay.
But
yeah, Crash goes down.
Taking that.
Crash goes down every episode.
it was and time.
Right.
But yeah, no, I started judo when I was 3, and we did that until I was probably through high school. And I started lacrosse when I was in 6th grade, and I did that through college.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. But when you started lacrosse, you were still doing other sports?
Yeah. I played volleyball. I played lacrosse. I played football as a kid, and then I played again my senior year of high school because my buddy bet me $50 that I wouldn't. And I still have that framed and the note. He sent me that check like 3 years ago, so really I still got the note.
That's funny. Well, so because football, you would think that more lacrosse players would play football, I guess, but because the seasons are so lacrosse is spring, football is fall.
It's fall, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, as far as high school goes and whatnot.
Yes, yeah. But typically we would play lacrosse year round. But if we were playing other sports, we would play football in the fall, or I was into wrestling because of my judo background. I played volleyball in high school for a little while, and then busted my knee up playing football. So I ended up just sticking with lacrosse, and it was the best thing for me for sure.
Yeah. What I am very intrigued by though is the judo thing. Yeah, isn't this Jameson great?
Good stuff.
Jameson, I'm waiting for a Jameson
casket mates.
I need a Jameson sponsorship. I wanted a Swisher Sweet sponsorship and a Jameson sponsorship. They haven't heard yet.
I would join you on that JMO venture sure.
Dude,
yeah,
if we can pull it off. Evan always harps on the Hennessy one. Maybe we should start.
We should start on JMO. Or if we really want to do it, let's kick it with Conor McGregor and get proper whiskey.
Conor.
Proper. Yeah.
It's like not that expensive either. Like I thought it was going to be more, and it's like Jameson. It's like terrible. Yeah. Have you ever had Powers?
I have not.
Oh. It's like JMO's older brother. They're the same company as Jameson, but it's a little bit stronger. That's
the next tier.
That shit, yeah.
That's the next tier.
Well, I bartended for 6-7 years. So Jameson, for some reason, I don't understand why.
It's the top of mind.
It's like literally, it's like water to me now.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing. So judo is very interesting to me because I didn't know anything about this, like karate, all that was always kind of like weird to me. Yeah. And then, now as I get older and I'm trying to hear more things and learn more things, and I listen to Joe Rogan a lot and those kind of things, and he talks about obviously he's big into fighting and all that stuff, and he talks about judo and stuff, but it's more about the mental stuff that goes into it that to me is so intriguing. Do you think that gave you since you did it from such a young age, did that help you in everything else, you think?
Absolutely, yeah, because it's all about confidence, but it's also mainly about discipline. So the biggest thing they teach you is just because you are trained and you have the right to beat somebody's ass, or you have the ability to beat somebody's ass, it doesn't give you the right to.
Right.
So the first thing I had to learn was discipline. And, it was odd for me or tough for me growing up was, kids always want to fuck with you when they realize you can do something, which seems odd, but in college or high school or youth, kids would always try to fight me because
they knew you did karate or judo.
Because they knew I had a judo background to see if they could take me. So, it was often a lot of internal struggle for myself to be like, okay, I need to check myself and either remove myself from this situation, or sometimes I didn't. Yeah. When you have a few drinks and you're in college, sometimes you don't do that.
You're preaching the choir. Man. That's I feel like that would have been important for me to learn at a young age, and for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Because that's a lesson in your ego.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's a big self-confidence thing to be able to carry yourself and know that you know how to take care of yourself if it comes down to it. But also the understanding that you don't have the right to necessarily. It's you have a more obligation to control yourself.
Yeah, that's interesting. Did it help your brother? Because
absolutely. Yeah, my brother was a 7 or 8 time national champion.
Oh shit!
And I won I think I won 3, in the junior level, and then. I won the high school nationals as a freshman.
Wow.
Which was thank you.
Do they do that at school, or was it you have to go through
No, nationals. You go to you travel around the country and sometimes the world, and I stopped after high school because I was really focusing on lacrosse.
Yeah.
But there are people that I've trained with that went on to become world champions, Olympic champions, and I wasn't as good as some of those other guys, but we were at the best club in the country, so we all know what we were doing.
Man, that is. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I had no idea. That's really cool to know, though.
Yeah.
So now getting in that led you into lacrosse. So you said that you you stopped. That took a back seat because of lacrosse, right? So you kind of stopped that because of lacrosse. So when did lacrosse get real serious and just like quickly? So I don't want to harp on this too heavily. I do want to talk about it a little bit, but it's because we've had so many guests on that have had this athletic background.
Yeah,
which is very interesting. But the like the switch from athletics to entertainment, music, or whatever,
of course,
is like. So how did that transition happen? You went to go play college sports. Like what happened? Like what?
For me, for the transition from sports to music.
Yeah, well, so just work me through. So in high school, you're like, you're taking lacrosse serious, and then you decide you're going to go to college to play lacrosse. Like, did you know that the whole time?
So my story here is really actually my first love prior to judo was acting.
Okay.
So as soon as I was in judo at 3 years old, my mom also was taking me on auditions when I was 3 years old. So I grew up. My first background truly is in acting. So I grew up doing. I was on a television series it's like a Christian, which is hilarious because I'm Jewish, but a Christian version of Barney, I would say. It was called the Hug-a-Bug Club.
Wow.
When I was 5 and 6 years old.
Can we dig up this footage?
Nah, we actually can. You could go on YouTube and look this up.
We gotta dig this up.
Yeah. And I did a few episodes on this show, but my mom and I would fly to Orlando and film.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then I'd come back and we did that a few times throughout the year and but that was my first love, was acting and performing, and we did plays growing up and theater. So I was always writing as a kid. I had a song folder.
Oh wow!
But as the thing is, as you get older, you know you start caring what people think. And as an athlete and someone who was in martial arts, I was focused more on being that, and I thought it was less cool to want to sing.
Yeah.
And that's something that I highly regret and highly recommend to anybody who has a love for singing or anything like that. If you love it, just do it. Don't care what people say in high school. You get past it.
We were just talking about that when I had Tatiana on for the live episode. She played basketball her whole life. She played college basketball and anything, and she's an actress now. But long story short, we talked about how it's so weird how the jocks versus theater kids. It's always jocks versus drama when you're growing up.
I feel like it was like High School Musical, man. A kid always wanted to sing, but he was the basketball player.
And then when you get older, it seems to flip because all these NBA players and a lot of athletes
look at Oladipo.
They wanted to be singers or actors or whatever. So there's this big crossover. But I think when you're young, it's just hard to bridge.
Yeah, you have to classify yourself when you're younger. You don't have to, but you feel like you do.
feel the need to.
You feel like you do. So I didn't do any choir. I didn't do any. I went on true auditions. I auditioned for movies and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
I defined my acting career as I was almost that kid
because a lot of
I was this close a lot of times to nailing a lot of roles, some pretty big roles like Home Alone 3.
What?
Yeah, dude, I was almost. Have you ever heard of that Disney show Phil the Future?
I don't.
It was down to me and 2 other kids, and one of them was the Phil kid. And,
holy shit.
Yeah, so I was almost that kid a lot of times, but it really didn't pan out to be me too often.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So what did your mom have an acting background or a theater background?
My mom had a theater background, and she was really a dancer. Above all, she was actually proud son moment. She was the captain cheerleader of the Chicago Bears cheerleading team.
Hey, Bears!
Yeah,
Bear down.
Yeah,
that's Bears in your blood.
Yeah, she was the captain of the Chicago Honey Bears.
That's crazy. First off, are they still called the Honey Bears?
They're gone. They were the only team in the NFL without a cheerleading team, and we need to get them back.
We don't have a cheerleading team?
We're the only team in the NFL without cheerleaders. That's Virginia McCaskey.
Really?
Yeah, she doesn't like them. She thinks they're classless, but
they don't want distractions.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna throw a quick plug in for my mom's book though, Missing from the Sidelines. It's on Amazon. Pick it up now. It's the stories of the Honey Bears and the players and reactions on and off the field, and they were all cultural. They were the original Dallas Cowboy cheerleader girls. Started with the Bears, and now we need to get them back. So I'm throwing a plug in for my mom's book, Missing from the Sidelines.
Talented family you have here.
We try. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, shout out to your mom. That's great. Make sure go get her book. Go check it out.
Get that book.
Yeah. That's amazing. So she has some sort of experience with that kind of
in the theater and the arts and dance. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that only makes sense. Believe me, as I'm getting older, about to get married, and all these things, thinking about whether or not we have children. I'm like, would I?
Are you gonna pass that? What are you gonna pass down?
Would I put them into the auditions right away and stuff? Because I like you have a bit of an acting background. I didn't start young, but it is the idea. It's if you get them in right away, because believe me, I've always thought man, what if I would have started when I was younger? What would have happened? But like you said, you never know.
And now we're at that age where it's I wish I would have started when I was younger.
Yeah.
Or I wish I would have taken it more seriously when I was younger.
I say it all the time. I've been talking about the high school artist thing, the high school rapper thing. it's not to say that like they didn't do a lot of work and a lot of hard work, and not to take anything away from artists that start younger, but it's a bigger advantage if you start and take your craft as like a career serious when you're younger.
Yeah.
And not only because there's fans that are in your high school that they could potentially be fans, like those high school kids are the people you want to be fans.
Of course.
But also I think because you at that time you could like you said, you took lacrosse seriously. That was probably 90% of your brain for like, maybe not 90%, but I mean
It was a lot.
Yeah, like I know for me, basketball was like consumed so much of my brain. I wouldn't have been able to pay rent and do other things and have a job or something.
Yeah.
So to try to balance like making music and then paying rent and then paying insurance or whatever the fuck it is, like you have an advantage if you start.
I think the key word that you said there is take it as a career though, because it's not when I first started playing with music, I loved it and I was doing it in my dorm rooms in college, and when I really started to take it a little more seriously, that's when I was doing it. But had I really dove in with it earlier, it wasn't until about like a year. I would say I've been doing this hard, like all in for like six years, but not all in.
Right.
Until the last like year and a half to 2 years.
Yeah.
And had I taken it so much more seriously prior, I wonder how much further ahead I'd be. Again, you can't look back. You just got to keep looking forward. It's not going to help.
Yeah.
But I know that I'm grateful for where I'm at right now. But the opportunity to be young and relevant has a time clock on it. So if you're young and doing it, you got to start grinding now.
This is a very good point. It was a very good way to put it, because you're right. The time clock on being young and relevant is real, right? Is that basically the way you said it? Right? That is true. And
teens drive the market,
especially in music.
Teens drive the market.
Music,
teens drive it.
It's but it does seem like you have you've collected these thoughts over time, because it's not like because like you said, it's like you have to drive and look forward, because it's really like at our point, and believe me, I've had those thoughts where it's like, man, fuck, like, am I gonna get too old for this shit or whatever?
Yeah.
I don't think is the case anymore. But
I don't think so either.
But it's really about the music. You just keep focusing on making good music and keep going forward. It's gonna be the first time ever where we're gonna see 50-year-old rappers regularly, 40-year-old rappers regularly, because the genre is finally gonna be old.
Yeah,
it was never old before. So everybody who's saying like you have to be like under 30 when you're rapping or like talking all that shit, it's not.
That's silly now. It's silly now. Yeah.
It's not going to be the case. So you started music. So you started writing early, but you kept it going throughout high school.
Well, I really didn't. So I took singing lessons growing up a little bit. I used to love to sing and I used to write a lot, but I didn't really dive back into music until I would say my junior year of college. And sophomore year, freshman year, I was playing lacrosse and being a drunk college kid, and loving every second of it. But junior year, one of my teammates was taking the music really seriously and is still doing it out in LA. Shout out East Beats, love you, buddy.
Hey,
I used to kind of go up and I'd go to his room with him and I'd help write a little bit, or we just session, and I just loved it. Yeah. And I knew it was something that I wanted to do, and I think a part of me seeing him do it got me back into it too. Yeah. And realizing that, hey, just like we were saying, the opportunity to be young and relevant. I'm here in college. I have a platform. Yeah. People are just looking for an opportunity to get, messed up. And if I can work on my craft and book a show, and I could pick up some girls doing it too, and all that, it just seemed like I didn't see any negatives. Okay. So I just went with it again, and I very silently was working on writing a lot, and then halfway through junior year, I started putting a song out. And
you were putting music out while you were there?
I started putting I put my first song out in beginning, I think, of my senior year.
Any of this become an issue with being on the team?
No.
Okay, that's
no,
I was curious about those things, but you don't seem like you'd be saying some ridiculous shit.
Lacrosse came first, always. Lacrosse came first, but it was, it was never an issue.
Yeah, it was never. That's good. So your junior how was lacrosse going at the time? Was there like a reason that you not to like look for a negative reason, but it's just like
it was going well. I was having my senior year. I was having the best year of my season of my career. I had the number 1 save percentage in the country. Hey. And we actually the goalie who I looked up to very much, he was my senior. He started ahead of me until he graduated. And we split time on and off a bit, but he actually ended up taking over as coach. And so I had a great relationship with him. So everything just kind of fell in line for me really well senior year. And then I tore my hamstring.
Oh, shit.
Like grade 4 tear, like almost off the bone. 2 weeks, so 10 days before playoffs. And me being me and, you know, that old school mentality, hey, man, wrap it up. Give me painkillers. I called the doctor. Said, what's the chance of me completely destroying my leg? And they gave me like a, 25-30%. And I was just like, yeah, the odds are in my favor. Yeah, the odds are in my favor. So I played it. I played in the playoffs with it. And I don't think I messed it up too much worse. Yeah. Every once in a while, I'll get a cramp. And it's really funny if you see me do it. Like, I'll like literally just go like dead leg.
Really?
Yeah, like it happened to me the other day, actually. We were out drinking and I must have been dehydrated, and I'm at the bar like this, and I have my leg up, and I'm just like, water, help, tap.
This guy's really sitting cool.
Yeah. How does he get his legs so straight?
Dude, his hammies are great.
Yeah.
That's funny. But hey, I would have probably tried. If I could have played, I would have played too. In that
you got to play it out.
Yeah.
It was the last game of my college career. There was no way I was going to miss it.
Right.
So we went with it.
And so as your college career is ending there, at that moment, were you like, let's go with this music shit, let's do it? Or
I did for about, I really went in hard for like a year and a half. And so what was really interesting with us is when I graduated, so at this time, my dad, this is like a 2.5 part story. My dad was dating a girl who was the executive producer on the Oprah show. Oh. And at my house was
Harpo Studios.
Yeah, Harpo, yes. So at my house, I was living back at home as most kids do when they graduate. Yeah. And it was myself, my older brother, my dad, our 170-pound St. Bernard Great Pyrenees.
Oh shit.
And our Yaya, R.I.P., who was basically Juanita from Billy Madison, but from the south side of Chicago. Just all Southern sugar and just foul mouth, just, that Big Mama's house that held down the house of the Jewish boys living in that in the crib. And so we were really a walking, just a living reality show. Yeah. And my dad's girlfriend saw this and they kind of came up with the idea of, hey, listen, we should shoot a reality show based on your family.
This is amazing. You got more stories. Keep it going.
Yeah.
Let's keep this going.
So we were working on a reality series called Getting It Right. My last name is Right, so we're going to call it Getting It Right. And for a few months, we actually had a camera crew living with us.
What?
Yeah. And I'd go out to bars, and they'd film me at bars. And
how old were you at this time?
I was 23.
Okay.
I was 23. So
dude, I can't imagine being 23 and having people following me around.
Everywhere I went, and so it was wild. But it was also awkward because imagine trying to hit on girls, and then I guess I can say this now. I actually hooked up with one of the camera girls quickly into the shooting. Yeah. And imagine hooking up with this girl and then the next night being out at a club.
And how are you supposed to
having to hit on girls with the girl who you hooked up with previously filming you?
Yeah.
It was very awkward.
I'm sure. And are they giving you notes hey, you got to go hit on chicks, you got to be.
Well, I mean they didn't tell us what to do, but I was going to do it.
So they did it was it completely reality? They didn't give you any hey, do this?
No. And the first, so basically we were shooting this show, and the camera girl that I was, and she was, and let me preface by saying she was a sweetheart. She was an awesome chick and helped me out a lot. One of her friends was this dude named Swizzle Steve, who is a promoter.
I know Swizz.
We all know Swizz. Shout out Swizz. Okay.
Kind of.
Yeah. Whatever. Okay. So Swizz booked me on my first show. She called him, and I got booked on my first show in Chicago at Goose Island, Wrigleyville. Yeah. While we were shooting this series.
That was when Goose was still there, right?
When Goose was still there, and so.
Dude, that's amazing. So you had a show booked while the cameras were following you. That is the best recap video you could have gotten right there.
Booked my first show ever.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah. So, and it was I was nowhere near ready to be playing a show in Chicago. My skill set wasn't there. I plugged my iPhone in and played the set that way. There was no DJ. It was just there was no sound. My sound was off. I sucked. It was just, I know, looking back at that footage, I was just bro, you really have grown a little bit since then.
Yeah.
But
it's important.
But yeah, so that's how I kind of I really dove in there. Yeah. We ended up squashing the series because of a lot of reasons.
Do you have a pilot? Is there a pilot?
We shot the first episode.
Okay. Yeah.
And we ended up for reasons like with my brother, when things got a little too real, he didn't respond very well.
Yeah.
And so
I'm sure that could be weird.
and for reasons like for personal family reasons, we decided we're gonna squash this.
Mature decision by
yeah.
Yeah.
My dad made the ultimate decision, but it was a group decision.
Yeah.
But it would have been really funny, and I've gone back and looked at the footage, and it's great. But
think when it got picked up, that's when I like.
Probably.
Yeah, somebody.
I mean, you imagine 3 single guys in a house, a huge black woman controlling all of the huge matriarch.
What's that show now that's on like USA? It's like there's a couple of reality shows. That I don't
know what it was? It reminded me of it was like a raunchier, more realistic, like 2.5 Men.
I like. I mean? With Bertha, or is that her name? Berta.
Yeah, Berta, but Southside Chicago
right.
Berta, and 3 Jewish guys, 3 single, and there'd be times like all of us would wake up with people over, and she'd kick them all out, and then we'd recap and laugh our asses off.
Oh my god,
it was so funny.
That is a crazy.
It was really funny. But yeah, for a lot of right reasons, we ended up squashing it. But that kind of set me off on being able to book shows in the city.
Okay.
And that was my first show that I booked.
Because you drew well, I'm guessing, for that. I mean.
Yeah, my friends came out. It was like my first show in Chicago.
Dude,
people
those
were
always
excited.
help, right?
Yeah, people were excited. Yeah, so I played like probably 4 or 5 shows at Goose Island before I was able to move to Mothers, and then from Mothers I used that to get Cubby Bear, and then so on and so on. So
yeah, I can totally relate to the now looking back and being like, damn, I played a huge show when I wasn't shit.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, first off, the aux thing, any young artist can relate to plugging their iPhone in and
plug and play, baby.
And like, we have to be young and delusional like that. You have to be young.
You gotta learn
like that. You have to be.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. Like, just like
you
the
gotta
tracks.
learn.
Yeah. The first big show I played in Chicago, because I went to college in Milwaukee, and then so I started music up there. I started doing some whatever. The first big show I played down here was I opened up for T-Pain at Double Door.
No.
Yeah, but it was like, I mean, it was full. It was fucking amazing. Like, it was one of those like opening things where you like sell tickets and shit. But like at that time, I'm like young, it's whatever, and I sold a shit ton of tickets because it was one of my first shows like back in the city, and I just like looking back, it's like, man, if I had that opportunity now, I would be. Like, the show would just be way better. It's not that my show... I don't think my show was bad. I mean,
you're professional now.
I met some people, right? I met some people, made some contacts, but it's like, man, you're like, dude, if I could just... Like, maybe T-Pain would have been like, yo, I'm fucking with that. Like,
no, trust me, I get it,
But I think that's everybody's experience, You got to get comfortable with crowds and just being used to, like, the... it's something that I tried to do when I was younger, like, and I've said this to myself now, is that... Even though I know I'll make 20 songs and like they're not that good from back in the day or whatever, but you're getting better every time. My plan was like, all right, let's just treat the workload as if I'm already a professional. So just work it like that. So then once it's good enough and it's there, it's just kind of you're in the rotation, you're in the motion of it.
I get that.
So then you'll just have you might have a ton of bad stuff that's out there, but like it's all working.
When I first started writing in college, like my senior year is when I really dove into heavy writing, and I was at a point where I was frustrated with my friends. I was frustrated with our state of the world. I felt people were focusing on themselves way more than focusing on helping each other and helping fellow man out. And maybe I was a little bit in my own head there. And as an artist, I've also learned you do have to focus on yourself because that's how you can really. It is a selfish industry to a degree. And by that I mean you have to focus. You have to be your best you, so you can be your best artist and focus completely on your craft. But I was writing so many songs in such a short period of time. But what I'll say that I was cognizant of, there were songs that I knew my writing was far superior than my ability at that time. So that I've held on to for years. Some songs I still have yet to put out that I wrote probably 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I was waiting for my skills to catch up to the writing.
Yeah.
So for example, Bombshell that we put out this summer. Yeah. I wrote that 4.5 years ago.
Oh, so you had that record for a while.
I wrote that one in probably 10 minutes about 4.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I had the melody in my head, and I always knew that it could be something special when we do it right.
That's good. That's very good patience of you to like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you got something good, you got to make sure it turns out great.
I think I just don't have the patience for that. I've never had that. I've definitely had the experience where it's like I know that I want to write a song about this particular instance. Like I know that like on my first album I have a song about this car crash I was in when I was younger. And like I knew forever I was going to make that song. I just didn't know how I was going to make it. And then you let it out there and it's like, all right, it's out there.
Yeah.
But I do think that now while I wouldn't redo that song, I don't think that there's anything wrong with representing it in a different way.
No.
You know what I mean?
You re-release it, you know, or redoing it, or remixing it.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's okay.
You can give stories other life.
I think that's okay, yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. All right, well, we have a brief second here. I'm going to make another drink, and we're going to send you off for a quick ad from your sponsor who might sound a lot like me. All right, so welcome to a special New Year's ad from Passion Park. So first off, did you enjoy your New Year's? Did you celebrate it? Would you say that you enjoyed like a late night? Have you heard the newest jam by your good friend David Lopez? On these late nights, if I'm bringing them, we coming good. On these late nights, if this shit on these late nights. Wait, what's the name of the song? Oh, it's Late Nights by David Lopez on iTunes or Spotify or anywhere that you get your music.
Late nights, David Lopez.
Available now.
On these late nights, I hit the road and you miss me.
On these late nights, 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 on these late nights.
This break has been brought to you by
Exactly.
Jameson. And I'm repping Jack Daniels like
It's all good. I need to get some real
whiskey supporter.
I need to get some real fucking sponsors for this podcast.
We'll throw a Green Pet Shop logo up for you.
Right.
It's my pet company.
Oh yeah. Actually, well, I'm gonna spark this. Is that okay?
That's okay.
Smoke some ganja. Yeah, the whole pet thing. Yeah, you have a big dog situation going on, and literally, I mean big dog. Like,
I literally have a
massive
gigantic dog.
Like,
Yeah.
But you do some work with pet products, right? Or
yeah, my father started a company called the Green Pet Shop about 8 years ago. And me and him, I've been kind of working hand in hand with him since then, since college kind of. And it's all eco-friendly pet supplies. So that's definitely a big part of the life for me as well.
Man, your parents sound like very like hardworking, like entrepreneurial type people. Like,
Definitely. Both entrepreneurial. My dad traded stocks and commodities at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange for 20 years. I'll take one with you.
I hope there's not too many bad things going on this week with all that stuff.
Yeah, he's out of the business now.
Okay.
So.
Because I just had heard I only know vaguely. I don't know too much about all that stuff, but like, I know that the situation was crazy this week, and like I know people lost a lot of money. Like my girls' family members and shit. Like
had a bit of a crash. Yeah.
Fucking crazy, dude.
But yeah, he got into venture capitalism, and then we went heavy into the pet company about 8 years ago, and I've been able to jump in and help out with a lot of the marketing and social media and the creative end of it.
So have you had pets your whole life? You mentioned the dog earlier.
Yeah. Grew up. Reggie was he was the goat, man. He passed away about 2 years ago, and now we've got this animal, Tito, who is a lion-headed Tibetan Mastiff.
This is the biggest dog I've ever seen, dude.
He's only 1 year old, and he's 100 pounds now.
Thing is huge.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop a picture right here for you guys to see.
Yeah, you gotta see Tito. Yeah. Ta-da!
He has his own Instagram page, doesn't he?
Tito Chills with a Z. Yeah, and but he is I'm good. Thank you. Tito is a bit of a savage, but he's super cool, super friendly. But I pray for anybody who tries to break into our home.
Is he can be like
tough?
Really?
Tough. Yeah, the most alpha dog.
He looks so like
fluffy and fun. Don't let him he'll mislead you.
Man.
But but he's a really cool, loyal dog.
You couldn't have put a dog around like that. Well, so I didn't grow up with any dogs. I didn't grow up with any pets at all. I never had a pet my whole life. Till me and my girl got a frog, named him Reefer, and he died.
R.I.P.
Right, R.I.P. to Reefer.
To Reggie and Reefer.
Yeah, right. To Reggie and Reefer.
Yeah.
We had a little funeral for Reefer and shit. It was funny, but I used to be so scared of even like little dogs because I just was never around. I was just so scared of them. So I am a proponent of just having kids be around animals at least, just so you're comfortable with it.
Yeah. Well, I say the coolest thing that with this pet company, which is cool, is obviously I'm green friendly, but we had a product called from like an actual health standpoint. We had a product. It was a CBD lotion for pets. You put it in their inner ear.
Yeah.
And it's a calming and soothing lotion. And to me, I'm such a huge proponent, coming someone from athletics who was plugged with painkillers throughout high school and college. Legitimately, like always, I was a goalie, so my body was always beat up. If you can take a good look at this hand right here.
Holy fuck!
See how messed up
Look at that finger.
Yeah, dude. That's judo and lacrosse.
Damn,
yeah.
dude.
So
CBD is huge for this type of shit.
it's huge for pain. It's huge for anxiety, for stress, for any reason that one would
joints, right?
Joints, yeah. So for anyone, so we had this for pets. So for any reason that one would prescribe medical marijuana, which I'm a huge proponent of, because it's natural and you're not plugging your kidneys up. And I could go down the whole route with big pharma and all that BS, but it really drives me nuts because they labeled. Last year, our government labeled CBD as a Schedule 1
That's
drug.
because of the fucker who was what's his name? The guy who said that. Sessions. He's a fucking maniac.
Yeah.
He said people who smoke weed are evil, right?
Yeah.
Or something like
I
that.
mean, well, here's the thing you have to think about is the government's biggest funder is Big Pharma.
Right.
In fact, check me on this stuff. I know this was relevant. I don't know if things have changed, but the last time I looked, whatever. But
they're just hanging out with us right now.
Yeah. But no, the government's one of their biggest funders is Big Pharma. And obviously marijuana is not funded by Big Pharma. Right. So in weed legal states, the average physician was prescribing 900 less pain pillar prescriptions or something, might even be more, and going to weed instead. So that's billions of dollars that costs Big Pharma, which costs the government big money as well.
Absolutely.
So they were just huge. They're just against it. And
it's all dirty as fuck.
It's BS,
so
dude.
Fucking
And
dirty.
what I think it's going to take is people in our generation who are not to be like the coffee pourers in Congress and in litigation, but to be the actual decision makers.
Dude, absolutely, and I think we're getting. You can just see the wave of. There's been younger people.
It's going up.
Yeah, I absolutely think that, and honestly, I think as far as the weed thing goes, the Canada thing is going to put a lot of pressure. I think that's going to. There's some movie. It's not going to be long.
Dude, that Prime Minister in Canada, is that what it's called? Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Dude, that dude, what is his name? True.
I don't know, but he seems super
he is the coolest dude, man.
Yeah.
He's I feel like he's like the Derek Jeter of politics, but for Canada. He's the coolest guy.
Yeah. For a lot of seasons.
Canada's a cool place, man.
I've never been.
I went to Toronto this summer and four of the best days of my life.
I heard they have the best strip clubs in Toronto.
I did not attend.
Not a huge strip club guy, but I mean either way.
I did not attend, but I had a buddy who was there, who was on tour for the Wicked musical.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he played Fiyero. Shout out John Hall, unbelievable actor, singer, all the above.
I know John.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You don't know John. Yeah, you don't know John. Yeah, but Johnny's one of my best buddies, and he was there on the Wicked tour, and it was Canada Day there. And I also have another.
Canada Day?
It was Canada Day, which is right before it's their 4th of July.
Oh.
So they had off for the whole weekend.
Okay.
So he's like, bro, come up. I was like, fuck it. So I got in my car and drove up to Toronto, and me and him and my other, it's 8 hours. Oh. Yeah. So me, him, and my other boy Scotty, who lives up there, he's like a chiropractor up there, one of the coolest dudes ever. We spent 4 days together just chilling and vibing and partying in Toronto, and it wasn't even so much as the places we were at, but it was all the amazing people that we met and the energy, big proponent on energy and feeling and vibing with people that you're with. And the energy there was so dope. I've been there 1 hour. I've been in the country for 1 hour. And I literally had my face painted by this famous street artist who ended up doing the artwork for my Bombshell song, Jesco33 on Instagram. She's the shit. Nice. But she painted my face, and then we were riding LED bicycles around the city, and we started a rave in a random park, and everybody was passing spliffs, and everyone was just it was just the most plus vibe. Yeah. And that was the start. That was 1 hour into the trip. So after the next 3 or 4 days, we just kind of rode that wave out, and it was amazing.
Dude, I love that. First off, sounds amazing. I definitely want to get up there.
Yeah.
I love that you said you're a big proponent of energy and this kind of things, because we got maybe 20 minutes left here, so let's talk. So with something like that, Canada is known for having these nice people, right? They're just known for having nice people.
Yeah, I mean, you can find dickholes anywhere, but
But what is it about a couple people or a perception or a vibe that all of a sudden
they're so laid back there. Everyone's just I feel like they just get it. I feel like because of South Park, Canada gets this bad rap, hey buddy, and it's everyone is hey buddy there because you are their buddy. They treat you like it, but no, I mean it is. I think Toronto is one of my two favorite cities on earth. One is Tel Aviv, it's just free there, and everybody they're just down to earth, and I feel like they just get it.
What's the I mean, obviously social media is big up there because it's big down here. But did you have when was this? When were you there?
The end of June.
Because you know what? Now I'm curious. This is just thinking out loud, throwing ideas out. I'm curious if it's maybe that's not as prevalent. Is everybody on their Snapchats as much as they are down here and shit? I'm curious.
Probably not. But the other thing I don't think people realize is how hip the actual culture is there. People are really into hip hop. They're really, don't forget Drake's from there. Like
right,
some of the hottest artists in the industry right now are from Toronto, and it's not a shocker. Drake, Biebs, like Celine Dion,
right?
Seth Rogen.
I know, but I mean, there must be a reason. Like, is it less competitive? Maybe less fast paced. There's got to be a reason that it's like generally people are nicer. Like what? You know what I mean?
You know what? It's gonna take another trip back to get to the bottom of that one. But I'm telling you, everyone that I met, and it could be just a token to the type of people that I'm friends with up there. Yeah. You know, it could be good people know good people, and I met nothing but the greatest people while I was up there, and it was just 4 days of excellence.
Right, that's legit. And so, like you said, maybe good people do meet good people, and you generally give off very positive vibes in every instance I've met you. And earlier you said that it's important to be the best version of yourself to make your best music and stuff. So with that being said, it sounds like you probably have done a fair amount of work on yourself, or at least had to. I'm just gathering.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm assuming here. But was music something that was helpful for you during those kind of times, or like what drives you in those kind of situations?
The biggest thing for me is I would, without getting like crazy heavy, is I realized I realized like a year and a half ago that like how real like mortal we are, and how like really when I'm talking about that time clock, it's real. Yeah. And at any time, doesn't matter if you're a great athlete, a great artist, or average Joe, anybody, like at any point, shit can happen. Right. And it happened to me last year. I was in the best shape of my life, probably. I was eating healthy. It was all the above. And I made a mistake. I went out and got way too fucked up one night and got jumped walking home. And, go back to earlier in the discussion, I grew up being trained to fight since I was 3 years old. Right. And I let myself get so fucked up that I didn't know where I was, who I was. And, I let myself, a few guys come out of an alley and fortunately, I was able to kind of defend myself enough to get away. Not that I remember, because I don't have a really recollection of the night much. But woke up in the hospital the next day, and with grade 4 concussion, which is about as bad as you can get, and a bunch of facial fractures and stitched up and bubble in my brain. And I got found on the side of the road at like 4:30 in the morning. And had I not been found, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now. I wouldn't be here. So I got super lucky that night. And it took me about 2 months to recover with, help from my family, and Emily, and everybody was just so amazing, helping me get back.
How long were you in the hospital?
I was in the hospital for like a day and a half, I think. Okay. But like, I was in bed for about 2 weeks. Phone on airplane mode. I had to relearn how to walk. I was on a liquid diet. It was real messed up. Yeah. And I was literally in my best form when it happened, and I slipped up and almost cost it. And when I finally got my brain kind of back and operating to full speed, which took a while, I started realizing, I was like, man, had I not been lucky enough to be found, had I not been lucky enough to get saved, right? It would have been a real shame that I half-assed a lot of shit. That I half-assed my music. That I half-assed, like I didn't full-ass my dreams. Yeah. And
did you feel like you were being what do you mean by that? Like, because you might have a really good work ethic compared to other people. Like, were you just being lazy completely, or you just felt like you weren't?
I think I was complacent.
Okay.
I wasn't putting many songs out, and I'd play like a show every like 6 months maybe. Okay. And it was, I just lost that fire. Yeah. Okay. I lost that fire, and when your fire is almost completely put out, nothing relights it. Like the threat of not being able to to do it again. Right. And so after that, my say I was seeing clearly was an understatement. I was just so locked in, and I feel like since then I've been just on this self-focused mission to try and become not just my best me, but my best artist. Right. And realizing that, hey, I could have not had this opportunity. Right. And it would have really been a shame if I didn't see what I could really do. So hey, like, we're here, let's do it. Right.
Yeah, that's thanks for sharing that. I mean, that's I mean, they always say like life scares, or what I know there's a Close Encounters with Death or something like that. I mean, those obviously are a clear help for perspective change. You know what I mean? You get the like, you're like, oh shit, this is real. Like, Yeah, and it can help. I mean, I feel you. I totally feel you. I had a car accident where I felt like, you know, what the fuck's I doing? Like that,
Yeah.
you know, kind of type thing, like too. And it just changes how you look at things. So like you said, your fear of we're all mortal. You know what I mean? Like
I realized, you know, when you're a kid, like you feel immortal. You do. You feel like when you're in shape, you feel like you can do anything.
You're fearless.
You're fearless. And it's the first time I was like, damn, like, especially when something happens to your head too. Like I've broken legs, broken everything. I've been injured half my life. But like when something happens to your brain, your head, and it's just like, damn.
Right.
Like that's a real wake up call.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's literally the operation function of your whole body.
Exactly. It's not only that, like you said, you could have died, but you could have just not been yourself.
If I'd never been able to sing again, if I wasn't just all there, like so many other shit could have happened.
Exactly.
Yeah. I got so lucky. All I got's a nice little scar above my eyebrow, but you know what's cool? People were saying I was too pretty before anyway. So.
Fucking up the moneymaker.
Oh my gosh, not much.
So you grew up Jewish, correct?
Correct.
Are you still religious or?
So to me, it's I am Jewish. I'll always be Jewish. I want my kids to be raised Jewish. But like to me, it's so much as a cultural and it's like a cultural thing to me, and a family most important. It is like, hey, like, you know, I'll still fast on the high holidays and get to temple and celebrate the holidays and all the above. But to me, if you break down religion at the end of the day, so much of it is the same with just little different things. Honor, be a good person. All that, and you know, the higher power. But like to me, most importantly, it's about the family morals and the cultural upcoming. And I feel very blessed to have grown up Jewish, and not that I'm belittling any other form of religion, but to me, I feel the way for who I am as a person, I feel stems so much that, you know, my parents and, you know, my father raised me Jewish, and it really stems from family. You know, family is everything to me. I've got family over everything, rock chalk, tatted on my forearm, because it truly is everything. And you know, I talk to my dad. I work hand in hand with my dad, and I also, the biggest thing for me was I went on the birthright trip when I was 26, and that was life changing. Absolutely life changing.
For those who don't know, the birthright trip is when kids who grew up Jewish get a free.
You have a
trip to
birthright
Israel.
free trip to Israel, and for any Jews that have not gone that are listening, go.
Yeah.
Go.
I grew up I grew up in Rogers Park, heavy Jewish population. A lot of friends of mine were Jewish growing up. A lot of them took the trip, and everybody loves it. I mean,
I'm telling you,
like you said, just the traditions and the familyness, like the of Judaism is great. Is your so your dad raised you Jewish? Is he religious too, or
it's the same as me. It's from a religious standpoint, but you know. Like he.
You're not too like hard nosed.
No. To me, it's about the. What I also learned is that, you know, the Jewish population is less than 1% of the world population.
Really?
Less than 1%.
It's interesting.
And it's we were almost wiped out.
Yeah. Right.
You know, and so it's, though in areas like Chicago and New York and LA, there's a bigger concentration. Right. As I learned when we were on tour this fall, man, like there was not a lot of Jews everywhere, and that's fine. Like, but. To me, it's like almost an obligation to keep it going. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, I actually grew up. My mom is a priest.
Yeah.
So I grew up going to church every Sunday. But she's not like if you meet her, she's having a glass of wine with you. She's chilling. She's not like, you know, she's not like a preachy. But like I grew up going to church and stuff like that. But honestly, my biggest like change over the like when I've had to start doing work on myself and like really like felt like I needed to like make changes and shit, like like I've had, you know, a lot of similar fuck ups and shit, and then you have to like get in. Actually, a lot of it had to do with me reassessing my whole thought of what religion was and even what that shit was, like and how it mattered to me. And what it does boil down to is whether or not I believe everything concrete. I'm a storyteller as an artist, like so I believe in metaphors and I believe people care way too much about absolute facts. I think that's just like, but I'm not gonna explain
guidelines. And it's like in Pirates of the Caribbean, it's more guidelines than rules.
And I'm not gonna you know get mad at everybody for believing, you know, stories are like, because I don't regret growing up the way I grew up. You know what I'm saying? And like, and having to go to the schools I had to go to and having to learn some of the things. They probably all, you know, like I was hearing some people talk about it. They probably all were just good they're tools and guidelines, like you said, that just like veer you in, and then you go out. As you get older, you can expand your view on things, and then you generally might bring it back for if you're starting a family or something. You might want to keep some of those values, but like the problem is, you know what? The whole problem is concrete truth, man. That's what I think. I think people are way too worried about like what's an absolute fact. And
I
shit.
think the biggest thing is just taking from the positive morals of it, and with the exception of like the extremist religions and whatnot. It's really the same kind of thing, you know. Be kind to each other, take care of each other, golden rule, and you know, then honor God. Like, fundamentally, is the same thing. It's just with different verbiage, and different language,
But I mean, starting to think about this stuff in a new way as an older person. It's
crazy how it becomes more important.
Yeah, it was very important to me to just reassess it, and like I just never. Man, it was like the food thing for me. I never, actually, this is where it all started. I never really thought about the food thing. I just always grew up, you know, eating fast food, whatever. I grew up fast food, city life, you just, whatever. Fast motion. And then when I finally started thinking about that, I all of a sudden quit eating meat for like 6 months, and I was a vegetarian for 6 months. But I finally started thinking about that. And then I finally started thinking about the religious stuff. And it was just like, I just had a new perspective on things. Now I'm not so stringent on any of those things. Now I'm like, you know, loose with all of it because that's just kind of how I think. But like, that was interesting for me. That's why I asked if the religion was important to you after you had that incident, or like, did you have to? Like,
it wasn't a religious experience to me. It was more of just an awakening.
Just an awakening.
It was an awakening for me. It was like, all right, it's time to rock.
Yeah, that's yeah. Well, I mean that's funny because that felt that way. Thinking about these things have kind of felt that way to me, even though it's not going through something like that. But it is kind of just like, oh, it doesn't. You know, it's not all.
It's not a religious. Yeah,
for sure. For sure. Well, anyways, that was that. We didn't have to get too deep.
Hey, man. We're here. Cheers.
No, yeah, we could cheers to that. Well, so on the music side, real quick, I know you got to get going here pretty soon. So you just went on tour, right?
Yeah, we did a fall tour. It was pretty much my first like real fall tour. Me, Mikey, and Austin did a little, you know, tour less, but it was definitely you learn a lot about yourself and a lot about on the road. Like, there's times where, you know, I would wake up. You were talking about food and health earlier, and that's a big part of my life. I drink apple cider vinegar every day, and
oh really?
I eat like crazy healthy while I'm home, and fitness is important to me, and all that self care. It's all really important, and what you're putting in is what makes your system go. So it's, you know, what kind of gas you can put in your system. So I'm really big on that. But like on the road, things get a little different because it's like, you're playing a show on a Tuesday night in a college town, and that's random on a college town.
Right.
Tuesday night's a lit night, so you go out and have a few drinks, you're riding high on the show, and as you know, we did one in Iowa City together, and shout out, dude, Iowa City, that place is nuts.
I love Iowa City.
Iowa City is nuts. But like, you know, then you wake up, like, the next day, like, I try to keep like beer, bread, and dairy out of my diet most of the time. Oh,
really?
Yeah, like, if I'm at a Cubs game or something, like, I'm gonna drink a beer and eat a hot dog, or if the boys are eating pizza, I'll eat pizza, I'll get some loose or something, but like, you know, when I'm on my own time, I eat care. Yeah. So try to keep that out of my diet. Then I'll find myself on Wednesday in the road on a Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. in a random bar, shoveling biscuits and gravy down my throat and drinking a Bloody Mary to nurse a hangover.
It's hard to eat good on the road, man.
It's really hard.
Yeah, it's
really hard.
And it's expensive sometimes.
Yeah, it's hard. But like, other than like trying to, you know, keep track of like what I'm eating and all that, it was a lot of fun, and you learn so much. Like, it's a lot of time on the road by yourself, or in cars, or in small cramped positions on couches, or wherever you can stay. And but if it's what you want to be doing, then you're loving every second of it, because it's just part of the grind.
Absolutely, man. It's all about those. These stories are what you're gonna remember later on. Like,
absolutely, absolutely, man. Yeah. I mean, we did, I don't know, like maybe 10 cities this fall, which was awesome.
Damn, that's what's up. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. We just finished like 2 weeks ago in Nashville.
Yeah, which was right. I love Nashville.
Nashville was a blast.
Nashville's a fun city.
You walk into every bar and there's live music.
I know, that's what's so cool about it, and they're like all really good.
Yeah,
like,
everyone's an artist there, you know, or in the industry, and so it's just like it's like I feel like it's like the LA of the country.
Yeah, well, of country music.
And the women there are just like everyone's so beautiful. Oh my gosh.
I mean, country music has some. That's what they really got going for them. It's so that's great. So anything coming like for music wise? Any big drops coming soon here? Anything to plug? Or?
So I got an EP coming out this spring. We got 4 or 5 tracks on there. I'm just deciding last cuts and whatnot. So we got an EP coming out I'm doing a song with Austin Fillmore and Varsity that's coming out here probably in the next month or so.
Both those guys have been on the show. You guys know who they are. Don't be an asshole.
And so we got that song coming out, and then we got a show for Artist Collective on February 1st at Bourbon on Division. It'll be myself, Varsity, Jay Soleil, Austin. You're coming through. Yeah,
I'll be there.
Yeah. Who am I? Joe Cardigan. So it'll be a great show. And so we're all going to do that and do a little collab sesh, so that'll be really awesome.
Fuck yeah, I'm all about that. I'll definitely be there. It's always a fun time. Shout out to those guys. I gotta get some of those guys on the podcast. So
definitely hit up Evan and Denny.
Yeah, Evan told me he's gonna do it, so I'm gonna have to get him on here.
Yes.
So yeah, for sure. Well, it is you got a fun show to get to tonight, right? You're gonna have a good time.
Yes.
So that's good. I like that you're still going to like theater shows. And do you go to a lot of plays?
State culture, man. Yeah, I'd like to. What really got me back into it was seeing my buddy in the Wicked play.
Oh yeah, I saw Wicked. Wicked was great.
Yeah, did you see when he was in Chicago?
We saw it in Milwaukee.
Was it this year?
It was last year, I think.
You might have seen him because he was on the touring.
Dude, that show was great. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
So watching that really got me in. But I've always still been into theater.
Yeah.
Like acting's still my first love, and I totally plan on getting back into it.
Dude, we gotta talk.
Do some skits or something like that.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to fuse those careers together myself.
Yeah, I did stand up at Second City last year, and that was a blast.
What?
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah. Did you take the class or you just did?
I took a class and then I did like a 5 to 7 minute session, like an actual like stand up.
Yeah,
which was mainly like a roast of. I ended up just like roasting people there, but like it was. I thought I did a pretty good job. It's on my IG. You can find it. Yeah.
I gotta check that out. Yeah. That's funny. I love Second City. I'm about to take another class there. I've taken classes there.
I love it. Yeah, I'm a big fan. So I totally hope to get back into acting as well. But
Sweet. Yeah. All right. Well, that's great. Well, dude, I really fucking appreciate you coming through, and I appreciate you getting candid and talking real. This is a great episode. I think people are gonna enjoy this.
Damn right they are.
So shout out to the Kid Fraze. Make sure you check him out, and thanks for tuning in.
Appreciate you guys. Love you, brother.
Cheers, brother. Yeah. Woo.
That was good.
All right. It was great. You feel good?
Feel great.
All right. Good.
All right, thank you very much for listening to another episode of the David Lopez Show. Thank you to the Kid Fraze for coming by for an awesome episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. I really had a fun time. Hopefully we can get him back on in the near future. And make sure you go support him. Follow him. Check out his work. Come see him live somewhere when you can. And make sure you follow us at Passion Park ENT at @David Lopez. That's on all social media. TheDavidLopez.com, PassionParkENT.com. That's where you can find all our stuff. And make sure to subscribe on YouTube or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts app. Just make sure you're spreading the love. Tell a friend, share an episode, press the like button, give us a comment. Just spread the vibes, people. Passion Park is here to stay. 2019, we're here to rock it. The David Lopez Show is not going anywhere. I will be here discussing my stupid self with you for a long time coming. So I hope you all enjoy it. And I want to say Happy New Year's from the bottom of my heart. And one love.